1998, you get arrested for attempted murder.
Yeah.
And you were facing 2 life sentences.
And 6 years, yeah.
Why 2 life sentences?
There was 2 people. There was a guy who said he was selling drugs, the young lady with him, and they said that because it was inside of a dwelling, that's a burglary. They said if I enter into a building, any building, with the intent to commit a crime, it's a burglary. So the young lady thought I was shooting at her, but the guy said, man, I'm selling drugs. I know Skipp, he didn't do it. So I got an acquittal on her and a hung jury on him.
Well, look, at the end of the day, most people will think, hey, if I'm charged for a murder and I didn't do it, I'm just going to walk away. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I know people that are in jail for murder who didn't do it as well. Right. It's really not based on the truth. Right. It's based on your defense, witnesses, and the jury and the judge, and what type of lawyer you have and so forth. So how scared are you facing 2 life sentences and you're, 35 at the time?
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult. It is horrible. You know, by that time, I don't know, I had probably 8 children by that time, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I ain't gonna see my kids. I don't know what's gonna happen. So, and then the county jail, LA County Jail is probably the worst place in the world to be. So I've been in jail in other places. There's nothing like LA County Jail. It's the nastiest, living with rats and roaches, and then living with people who act like rats and roaches. So, yeah, it was real scary.
Okay, so did both of these situations go to court?
Yeah, I went to trial.
So you went to trial on both of them?
Yeah, they didn't. They were lumped together.
Okay, so it was one court case.
It's just one court case.
Okay, with 2 different charges, with a murder charge.
No, attempted murder and attempted murder.
Okay, 2 attempted murders.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting how you'd get life for attempted murder if the person actually lived.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it because of all the priors and everything?
No, that's just the way the California law is.
Wow.
It doesn't matter if this is your first time ever.
Okay, but you weren't even there.
I wasn't there.
So you're going into the court case. How do you think you won these 2 cases?
I know how I won the case because the dude who got shot, actually he was, I forgot what prison he was in, but he had a job driving the warden around. And they called him and said, hey, we caught the guy that shot you. We pulled him to court, and he said he didn't want to go. So the DA bought him nice clothes and stuff, but he was in jail with me. So, you know, I looked at his wristband when we was getting onto the bus, and I said, man, your name is on my case.
Wait. So you're going to trial with the main witness is actually in jail with you?
Man, we chained together. And
I
looked at his name and
Does that seem like a breakdown of the legal system?
Oh, yeah. And if I was,
think about it, because let's just say,
was somebody else, he's supposed to get hit.
Right, because think about it, right? Let's just say you were the one that actually did the attempted murder. You're here with the main witness. You get rid of him and you walk free, right? Or something.
Oh, I'd have to do the murder for him.
You have to do the murder for him. Well, I guess you got screwed either way. But at least when you have access to it, so you can get someone else to, let's say, kill him. Say, hey, it wasn't my fault. I was just here when it happened, and now there's no witness. So why would they put you in the vicinity of that person?
Because that's what they do. They put us together to get us to, you know, they Don King, man. They set up the fights. You know, that's the emperors back in the Colosseum days when they put the lions in there with the you know, the Romans or whatever. That's just how they do. That's what LA County Jail is like. But because we were 2 intelligent individuals and I seen his name, I said, man, you on my case. And he said, that's you? And I said, yeah. He said, man, I heard of you. I don't know you. He said, I never seen you before. And I said, exactly. So I said, where you at? And he told me what module he was in. I said, my guys are the trustee. I said, man, I'm going to send you all the candies, Zuzus, and Wham Whams. He had nice hair, right? Like he put some kind of grease in his hair. I said, man, you want me to order that grease for you and send it your way? I'm going to shoot it down the tier, whatever. I said, hey, look, man. And then I'm one of the guys from the blood. So you got any problems with the Bloods, let me know. And he said, man, I ain't got no problem, man. You ain't got to give me nothing. He said, I'm going to tell the truth. So that's why I went home, because they bought him these nice clothes. He took his shirt off in court. And the prosecutor was saying, no, sit down, sit down. He said, no, I want to show him. And he showed his wristband, because they bought him a long sleeve shirt. So it looked like he came from the streets. He said, I'm in prison. I got a job working for the warden. I want to go back to my cell in prison. I don't want to lose my job. But still, two people during the jury said, nah, they believe he's lying and believed I was lying.
So it ended up being a hung jury.
That one was a hung jury. But the young lady he was with, there was a couple of shots aimed at her, but they felt like she wasn't the intended target. He was. So they said, okay, acquittal on that one. That wasn't attempted murder, but he was attempted murder.